Hello and welcome back to the board. I'm the Gov Major and this is a Let's Play in the Italian Tier 7 cruiser, the Amalfi. I'm going to quickly do the shipping forecast. It's a game of domination in northern waters. On the enemy team we have an Okachov in a division with a double Odin. We have a Knetsov in a division with a Lexington, and then we have a Yamato Conqueror division along with a Suzuyu and an Alabama. So 3 divisions of 2 players on the enemy team to note. Now, the reason why we're taking a look at the Amalfi is because she's become a potential point of controversy within the community, judging by some comments I've seen and what happened in the recent community managers live stream with the Independence Day one. The Amalfi, from the player-based point of view, or at least some vocal people anyway, feel the Amalfi is not a very good cruiser. However, Wargaming and the community managers feel that there's nothing really wrong with the Amalfi in regards to her capabilities and how players are playing her. So the question is there a problem with the ship, or is there a problem with the players? So I spawned on the right and I'm moving into the right flank. Looks like I've got the Yamato and probably the Conqueror as well. We're going to be in a position where we might be able to cap, which would be quite nice. One thing is worth noting with the Amalfi is you do have very good concealment. You're practically only second best to the British light cruisers like the Edinburgh, so this is quite a strong ability, especially in a game like this where there's no destroyers. Now there is a carrier, but it looks like the carrier's working the other flank, so it does mean I'm in a situation where I can close in and get the cap, which is nice. Should be able to stop in time and yeah, be able to reverse up behind the island for cover. Now, when I'm doing the shipping forecast, I'm obviously looking at the enemy battleships, and I'm taking account of what guns they've got. Things like the Yamato with 18-inch guns scares me a lot. The reason why I'm looking at the guns is the armour scheme on the Amalfi is quite interesting. Now, I wouldn't say it's drastically different to some of the other Tier 7 cruisers, so in that regards, I wouldn't say she sticks out like a sore thumb or anything like that. She's not the best, but she's definitely not the worst either. So when it comes to the Amalfi, she has a nose and stern which are capable of ricocheting 14-inch AP, which is reasonable. It's not amazing. It can be helpful when you end up in tier 6 and 7 games, where the number of 14-inch caliber battleships and things like that lower, like Scharnhorst, are potentially numerous enough that the armor scheme can be quite useful. Now, when it comes to anything larger than 14, you're looking for 15 and 16s really. 15s because your armoured belt and deck is quite a strange one. You have a armoured belt which is of 3 different levels. You have your upper level, your mid level and your lower level, or armoured belt I guess you could say. Now the upper part of your armoured belt and your deck are capable of ricocheting 15-inch AP shells, which is quite nice, because 15-inch guns are quite common. However, it does mean that you have to try to dodge incoming shells from 16-inch and larger, like the Yamato, Massachusetts, and things like that. Furthermore, to this, you have a mid armoured belt which can ricochet the 16-inch guns, and then you have a lower armoured belt which can ricochet practically all AP when angled. So you have this kind of like layered cake of armour. So when it comes to how you go about surviving, I prefer to go along the lines of, if it's bigger than 15-inch guns, I want to be trying to actively dodge it. So in the case of the Conqueror and the Yamato here, I actively want to be avoiding taking damage from those ships. In this situation where the Yamato's come around the corner very close, I've popped my on-the-go smokescreen in order to allow myself to disengage. I'm going to keep working the Conqueror over, because obviously that's going to be advantageous. But I'm getting to the edge of the map here, so maybe I'm going to want to be going quiet. Yamato might have just got that volley about... lucky me, lucky me. There goes the Conqueror quite nicely. Gonna be disengaging now. Maybe see if we can work the Suzuyu over before we start re-engaging the Yamato, I think. So yeah, so that's the armour. So survivability and armour wise, I don't feel she's that bad. So when it comes to manoeuvrability and agility, obviously that's going to be how you're going to be avoiding damage from those higher caliber guns. I don't feel she's that bad when taking into consideration the commander build and the modules I've taken. So commander build and modules will be down in the description. I have managed to get my rotor shift down to 4.8 seconds, which I like very much. She feels very nippy in the water, which is quite nice. Furthermore, she's doing 39 knots. So I feel that's about the right level of agility and manoeuvrability that this cruiser needs in order to survive in this environment. Now you could obviously focus a bit more on that with certain inspirations and things like that, but I feel you don't necessarily need to. So would recommend them with steering gears, and if you can, I would recommend Steer Clear and Velocious. That's the Suzuyu gone, so now we can kind of focus on working the Yamato over. So manoeuvrability wise, I'm quite happy with that as well. Artillery wise, now with the Italian cruisers, they are known for having quite a slow gun reload, which can impact their fires per minute and their overall DPMs in regards to high explosives and armor piercing. So what I've done with my command traits and inspirations, I have focused on reload, and I have been able to get the main battery reload down to 12 seconds. With it at this level, I think it's acceptable enough. She's not, obviously she's an 8-inch gun cruiser at the end of the day, but I don't feel that she's in a bad position with a 12-second reload. I've also buffed out the fire chances and things like that to just try and maximise my damage over time, especially against targets like battleships. Now this Yamato is kiting away from me, so she is firing on someone else, so that is nice. I can kind of keep working her over while she's distracted. And then I still have a smoke screen to use if I need to suddenly disappear, I guess you could say, or save myself. So artillery wise, base wise, it's not that amazing. However, if you work on it, it can get to an acceptable level. Concealment, we've already discussed that, is pretty good. So that just leaves the consumables. So we've partially talked about the smoke. I think the smoke screen, I've seen some comments say they would like to see it have a longer duration or to have a quicker reload. I don't think that's necessary. I kind of feel that the smoke screen of the Italian cruisers, it does what it's designed for. If you think about it, it's designed for these situations where you want to turn away from something, or if you want to just mitigate any damage incoming during a set period. So in this situation, I've just changed this situation against this Yamato from a kiting in to kiting away. I'm hoping that this is just going to improve my ability to dodge the incoming shots, because the Yamato has definitely changed his mind about my input on his overall life, and has decided that I am definitely more of a problem. This is where the agility is quite useful, because I can dodge those shots quite nicely. So what we're really doing is we're just kiting away, and we're hoping to see if we can get another fire on the Yamato. And I think the smoke screen, it's designed well enough for the Amalfi. When you're making the turn, it's long enough to allow you to complete the turn. And it suits the style. You have good concealment, so it means you can close in. Once you've closed in, you find yourself a bit too close, you can then turn away, hence you can then use it. Because with some other cruisers, showing broadside is obviously not good for your health. So with the Italians, having that smoke screen to allow you to do that is quite nice. And the reload time, I wouldn't really complain about it either. It's 3 minutes. 3 minutes to go from kiting away from an enemy to disengaging potentially and then turning around again and re-engaging is plenty of time, I feel. I wouldn't necessarily say it's too long. I wouldn't say it's too short. I feel that it's satisfactory. Could we do with another one? Potentially, but then again, that's what fully packed is for. So I don't think you really need to have another one base-wise. The fighter is well, nothing really that special, I guess you could say. I wouldn't exactly. It's one of the poorest fighters at the tier. If I remember the stats from back in the day, so she's not exactly going to be shooting down many aircraft with her catapult fighter. It's more to be used as a spotting asset when you're in a situation where you need it. Usually, say when you're popping your smoke screen, you turn away. Also for, say, spotting incoming torpedoes, because of the lack of sonar. Unlike most tech tree cruisers, she doesn't come with sonar, which therefore means spotting torpedoes is a bit more difficult than in, say, some other ships. So therefore, using your fighter for that kind of spotting is necessary, I guess you could say. In this situation, I'm hoping maybe I can go undetected and dodge the Yami's volley, which I have, and see if I can just grab the cap. The issue is potential torpedo bombers, which are going to be spotting me. So I might have to just make a move. I don't think I can get away from them. We have got Witherer on the Yamato. Here comes the torpedo aircraft. So ideally want to be just getting some speed up. Want to see the Yamato chuck out a volley. See if we can juke it as well. It looks like she's actually managed to place that perfectly on me, but somehow I managed to dodge most of it. We're gonna take something from someone. So this is where we're in a bit of an awkward situation, but unfortunately I think it's just a situation that the game has eventually led us down to. I mean, we've done quite a reasonable amount of damage. We've been able to tangle with battleships a lot longer than I initially anticipated. We're just finding ourselves in a situation now where the Yamato is staggering her fire, which is a sensible thing to do in a battleship. If you're coming up against a very kitey battleship, cruiser I should say, one trick is to actually stagger your fire. What this will allow you to do is you can place one where they could be, if they continue in a straight line. You can place another one if they turn, and then you could place another one for if they turn a bit sharper or something like that. By doing something like that with your volleys, it means you can kind of cover off all the options, and so against a really kitey cruiser like the Amalfi or some of the others, it does mean this is a bit precarious. However, the Yamato managed to miss that one. I think we're just going to see if we can, how long can we live. We've got a lot of ships focusing us. We don't have enough points. If we can survive for 24 more seconds, that would be nice. I think we're going to take the torpedo there. Just seeing that the Odin's weak, so maybe we might see if we can turn against the Odin there. However, this could be the end. Yeah, there you go. Unfortunately, at the end of there, it was just down to the carrier putting us in a slightly awkward position. But yeah, all in all, wasn't really that bad a game. Managed to showcase quite a few things with the Amalfi, really showcasing their survivability. So the question is there a problem with the ship? Personally, I don't think there is. I think if you spec her correctly, she's actually a very good tier 7 cruiser. So I think the only problem with the Amalfi is potentially somewhere between the controller and the seat, rather than actually being anything in regards to the ship itself in game. So on that bombshell, I think it's just a matter of learning how to play cruisers. 148,000 damage from 148 hits on target, ironically. 10 fires, getting 1 capture, 1 defender reverence, 1 incapacitations, shooting down a total of 14 aircraft. So the AA didn't really do too badly that one, getting myself a Wither medal as well. Coming top of the team with 19,000, well, 1900, 1944 ship XP, which would be sufficient to place me third on the enemy team. And note that the enemy team does have a 50% win bonus in regards to their ship XP there, so potentially best player in the game, ironically, on the losing team, unfortunately, but you can't have everything. Economy wise, walking away with a profit of 300,000 credits with a premium account and a rare credit booster, which does improve my earning by 20%. Ship service cost 144,000 credits, which is quite typical for a tier 7 tech tree ship. Well, if you have enjoyed this let's play, feel free to give it a thumbs up. I know that some of my opinions may not match yours and your mileage may vary. However, I've been playing recently in live streams. Some people have been requesting her quite a bit, and I can't really fault the ship. And the only games where things usually don't turn out too well is where I have to end up using the ship as a torpedo at the start of the game, because I find myself in a bit of an awkward position. Those positions have usually been close quarters, so Amalfi doesn't like close quarters for sure. She definitely likes medium to long range. Other games where I haven't been able to do too well in Amalfi has simply been where I've been on really good teams and they've just rolled over the enemy so effectively that I haven't really been able to get my teeth into it, but then that's just simply the roll of the dice, I guess you could say. Well, if you enjoy this kind of content, feel free to subscribe. I'd like to say thank you to all the subscribers. Down in the description is the modules and the commander build that I have used during this gameplay if you wish to reference it. Also, email just the channel if you want to send in your own game captures, and link to Patreon if you want to support the channel on Patreon, as it is a non-monetized channel. Until next time, I'm the Gareth Major, and back to the port.
Hey, hey, clear the way, here comes the Galloping Major. Bumpity, 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 bump. Get out of the way there, you fellas, unless you want me to run you down.